for the summer break can be exciting, fun, and memorable, but there are some risky things that can ruin your travel plans before you even pack your suitcase or step on a plane. Here with some tips you need to know is Simone with the Better Business Bureau. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Morning.
Do you find that this time of year, as people get set to travel on vacations, that you're hearing a lot of complaints about scams and that kind of thing?
Absolutely. I mean, travel scams are one that maybe aren't our top riskiest scam. They made number 9 on our list. But certainly when people are exposed to them, almost 40% of the time they lose money. So that tells you that it's something to be very aware of.
All right. So you have some advice for us this morning. And starting with using caution when using third-party websites to book. First of all, what are third-party websites and what do we need to know?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we have a great example of this gentleman from Burnaby who went online looking to book a flight, thought he was on a legitimate airline's website and actually was on a third-party travel agent site. So in his situation, he went to go and book the travel. And what ended up happening was that he was told that the flight wasn't available, did the right thing, hung up. They called him back, told him, hey, actually the price is here. He booked it, and then at the end of the day, they called him back again to tell him something had gone wrong, and now he had to pay more money. Oh. At that point, he just ended the interaction and went and talked to his credit card. So he did the right thing. But what this story tells us, or really illustrates for us, is the caution that you need to have when you are dealing online, because there are so many companies out there that are really just trying to get your attention and get you to book with them, and they may not be legit.
And they might appear like in pop-up ads and things like that. So just to watch for that. Okay, so try to use credit cards instead of debit cards or wiring money.
Yes, because I mean the thing about credit cards is it does give you recars. If you pay by cash, really you're out of pocket. If you pay by debit, exactly. So when you do have a problem, your credit card company has the ability for you to investigate the charges and potentially do a chargeback, especially if travel's not received.
Yeah, that's great use of that. Okay, here's your next tip is to keep all documentation up to date. Why do we need to do that?
Well, I mean, it's really important before you travel that you know exactly what you're going to need. I mean, if your passport is expired and you find that out right before you travel.
That's a headache.
Right? And who wants to deal with that at all? So making sure that you're taking a look at what you need, as well as also maybe making copies of the documents that you have and leaving that with a trusted friend or family member in case something does happen and you do need it.
All right. Good tip. And lastly, don't trust third parties when it comes to your passport.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, especially when there is a pressure to get it right away, you might be tempted to say, hey, this third party is promising that they can get me my passport really quickly. But there is no way to speed up that process. So be careful of who you're giving your passport number. Be careful who you're giving your information to. Go to the Government of Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I didn't know there were third parties when it came to passport.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the trick, is there are companies out there that have those types of lookalike type websites, and you think you're dealing with the Government of Canada, but you're not.
Okay. Any other tips that we need to be aware of as we enter summer travel season?
Well, I just always want people to take some time to really look into who they're dealing with. I mean, it's one thing to get a great deal, but you don't want to show up and at the last minute find out that it isn't a great deal at all. We've all heard of those terrible opportunities where you think you're getting a great deal, and then when you show up, you're like, your hotel room is right next to the garbage. They're trying to sell you something. So if you take some time to really investigate the offering, come to BBB, look at the experience that other people have had, you're going to have a better experience overall in the long run.
Yeah, the BBB website is a really good resource. Yes. Thanks for joining us this morning, Simone.
Anytime.
Good tips.